Earlier this week, I'm in a parking lot. I'm leaving. All right, leaving. I was doing a little early Christmas shopping, and on the back of a sticker, I see, or a sticker on the back of a car. Actually, behind that sticker on the back of the car. Kidding. I see. I think it says like novice driver, rookie driver on board. I maybe not familiar with that particular bumper sticker, but you're familiar with that genre of stickers, right? And it wasn't. You know what I'm talking about?
The new driver stickers, I believe they hand out now with every driver's ed class so that parents can put it on the back of their car so they don't get rear-ended by assholes and then stuck up at gunpoint and a fit of rage by folks like you in 695 traffic.
That's what that's for? Middle Classholes, everyone. Have a good night. See ya. Now, what I was thinking was, like, okay, so what? So you put those stickers... You kind of... semi-stole my thunder there, because my thought is the idea, okay, if you don't have that sticker, then you can be an asshole. Like, oh, I got to dial back my inner rage because I got someone who has their training wheels on and just got their license.
I think that what's the mother of invention is necessity. So I would imagine that new drivers were getting fucking tailgated and pulled up on and given the finger, like how many thousands upon millions of times until finally some, I don't know, astute driver's ed course instructor was like, you know what? I bet I could make a couple extra bucks if I just factored in to the enrollment process $4 for bumper stickers. And lo and behold, pussified parents were like, I'll pay $4 for a novice driver bumper sticker to make sure that I don't get rear-ended at a stoplight because my little Jimmy doesn't know how to pull away appropriately. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not buying it.
That sounds like a valid theory. I don't know. I aggressively zoom by them. I fucking a tailgate and then I fucking zip on by just to give them a taste, man. I don't want them to think that fucking 695 is sunshine and rainbows. Okay, it's a fucking lion's den.
It's a jungle. So, it's a fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Well, of course, I drive around all day for work, and so I see these bumper stickers and things all the time, and I start judging. As soon as I see one, I start novice driver, eh? 65, glasses. Novice driver, are you? No, you just don't want to get fucked with. You want to let everybody think that, oh, this is the first time behind the wheel, when you just want to drive like an asshole grandma, or you can do something stupid. I also think it's just like the people with the Fraternal Order of Police sticker who think they're not getting a ticket for going way too fast. I think they put that on the back of their car. It's like, oh, I'm just a rookie driver. I don't know what I'm doing out here. Did you see the bumper sticker? So some of them, I think, are trying to pull a fast one on everybody too.
Maybe that's the driver's ed instructor. Maybe that's their whip.
Well, maybe they should pull it off their car when it's not in use, okay? It's just like there's a baby on board and there's no baby on board. Fuck you. You deserve to die in a ditch in a fiery automotive crash.
Have the parent or the child be parentless? That's real fucking swell of you. You got a big glowing heart today, bro.
Maybe the driver's ed instructor took all of the sticker profits and made one a magnet. And so he has the luxury of putting it on and off, whereas parents of dipshit children have stickers that have ruined their cars now. And,
by the way, two things. We're not saying how we acquired this, but someone at the my place of employment has one of the magnetic novice driver bumper stickers. And, we're just waiting for the right time to strike and throw it on the back of somebody's actual car. But the other thing is bumper sticker vandalism. It feels like it should be more of a thing. And I'll explain what I mean here. We're in a very hostile political climate right now. So imagine one of your friends who maybe, I don't know, screams at the TV at night while watching Rachel Maddow. Maybe you throw a good old-fashioned Tucker Carlson Tonight sticker on the back of their car and just watch the fire ignite inside their soul. Or vice versa. Somebody who's a big Fox News fan, Rachel Maddow is my homeboy. Throw that on the back of one of their cars. I just feel like bumper sticker, kind of like what's happening at the gas pumps with the Joe Biden. I did that. Why doesn't that happen more often to people's private property? I just feel like we're all missing the boat on a really solid piece of whimsical vandalism.
Yeah, he's got a point. You know, you see it on like fucking municipal property, which is stupid. Like, oh, it's great. Throw it on a stop sign. I guess it's funny. Ha ha ha. But like, yeah, if I walked out to my vehicle, I'd be furious, but I'd probably laugh. Like, you know, you get over it after a little while. But I think Murr's right here. We should just start stickering shit. I got a lot of stickers too that I got nothing to do with.
I don't know, man.
But like, if you got out on like,
didn't you have to like scratch up your fucking bumper to get some of those puppies off?
some of them. I mean, we could leave a courtesy fold at the top of, the corner or something, where you double it over and they can kind of just peel it off. But I just think it'd be great to go, get like a middle school vice principal's car and, I don't know, slap. I don't know. It doesn't have to be that bad. You could slap like a Slayer sticker on the back of their car, like, or put a pot sticker on the back of a cop car. Just something fun and whimsical, ironic and whimsical.
Or vice principal in training. That'd be Nova's principal on board.
We should start a bumper sticker vandalism site where we will send you, designer bumper stickers to piss off your coworkers. For example, I've seen these. They are empty boxes, and it says like extra large dildo, and it has a picture of a giant dildo. And it's just addressed to a friend, and there's nothing in the box. It's just so it gets put on your porch for 12 hours while you're away from the home, and everybody can drive by looking at your oversized dildo.
It's almost like just like a lighter or like a light version of the famous Artie Lang, Norm Macdonald movie Dirty Work. Except, we're not exactly doing all the dirty work for you. We're just creating the masterpiece that you're going to vandalize someone's bumper, house, something with. I
like it. We should start doing it.
You going to fire up you going to get the webpage dialed up? Going to get the old Photoshop rocking?
Yeah, well, we should probably call it like sticker graffiti or something. I think they're using vandalism just really opens us up to vandalism charges. Let's be frank. So yeah.
Okay, and I'm not trying to bring up a sore subject or anything, but people that are heavily anti-vaxxer. I got the jab. Put it on the back of their car. You see what kind of rage they would fly into 3 to 7 days later when someone finally pointed out that, hey, I like your bumper sticker. Bumper sticker? Brah! And then you see the fires of hell shoot out of their eyes and asshole.
Boosted and ready. Yeah. Oh, man. That's... Holy hell! Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
See, you just gotta find the right button to push.
Yeah, I would say.
You need both. You definitely need both sides. Like Murray was saying, I saw one the other day. It was on like a big old truck, and it was just like, this truck supports pipelines. It doesn't use electricity. It eats gasoline. And it's like, yep. I want to put that on on like my wife's car and just have her freak out. You got to have both sides. I think it's good.
See, for that guy's truck, you get an Elon is my homeboy sticker just for the irony. Maybe he laughs. Maybe it's funny to him as well. And this is where the website would come in real handy, is we could ask whimsical questions. Tell us about your friend. And then it would start going through and through and through. Sure. And maybe you come up with a bumper sticker that you weren't even intending to buy in the first place.
Yeah. What do you call that? Not necessarily a questionnaire, but isn't it like a feeling out process to kind of get, kind of pre-customer service, like a pre-sales type call that goes on?
Yeah. Let's get a questionnaire.
Yeah.
We could,
questions in order to
right at the beginning, there's a video. It's like, do you like pranking your friends, but you're not fucking funny? Let us do the heavy work. And then it'd just be us fucking, doing a little dance and making stickers.
Yeah. No longer do you have to be an unoriginal prick. Now you can be the prick.
Is your Instagram full of stolen memes? Don't worry about it. Let the middle class holes take care of you.
See?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can be your spark of originality. Yeah, there you are. Yeah, speaking of which, go ahead, Mur.
Oh, well, I was just, you got my brain firing here because I was just thinking about bumper stickers. And, I want to start a campaign where we start to limit the number of number one whatever sports team fan bumper stickers or license plate placards or anything like that, because you can't have multiple number one fans. Much like the license plates that go for thousands upon thousands of dollars in the state of Delaware, but for the lower number, I want to limit the number of number one fan bumper stickers, and you have to fight for them. Much like the Wu-Tang Clan's famous album that they only made one copy of that was not allowed to be reproduced. And then you just set it loose on the world and see who the number one fan really is. We're talking about blood and guts at stoplights in the middle of intersections. Someone going to steal that number one fan bumper sticker off the former number one fan. Kind of like the hardcore title in the old WWE days.
Yeah. And what I was going to say was then you could open up the market to like the number 3, number 42, number 67 fan, and then vandalize the person who they think they're the number one fan. Like, number 1 fan for the number 4 fan for the 76ers. What the fuck? What son of a bitch did this?
And I thought about this because I saw somebody with a number 1 fan Ravens bumper sticker at a stoplight one day, and I'm like, really? You're the number 1 fan? I'm pretty sure Steve Bisciotti forked out a couple $2 billion to be the number 1 fan of that fucking franchise. How dare you?
It's true.
Yeah. I think you could always, or you could do one of the, like the, Calvin's pissing on stuff. It's always NASCAR related, right? Just take out what he's pissing on and put it on people's bumper stickers. Like overlay it.
It's just a
yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I'm pretty sure they've done that, Wes.
Well, it's more, but you overlay it. So, like, if someone has number 1 Ravens fan, then you just throw Calvin pissing on it.
We double our profits by selling.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with anything attached to it, just Calvin pissing. So it's a template. You just throw it on whatever.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah,
very
I fucking
nice.
like that. That would be good.
That's not bad.
I'd buy a stack of those for shits and giggles.
Could go a long way.
Yeah,
go a long way.
Maybe we shouldn't fucking put this on air.
This is kind of what I'm talking about. This goes back to Murr's They'll Never Make It
These should just be ideas.
Movie podcast, where we come up, we just generate good ideas organically.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is what we should do.
Yeah, and then we'll never actually do it because we're not that motivated, which was the whole idea behind my podcast that's never come to fruition, by the way, in the first place, is that no one's actually going to pay me to do this, so I might as well get all the ideas out of my brain and into the world.
Yeah, yeah, and then someone else with kind of like the whole thing, where people who lack inspiration but have drive, lack organic, original thought, shaked in with some good humor, and personal skills, but just not the the real gusto to put it in motion. We provide you with that.
And thankfully, we have an attorney on retainer, and when you do steal our idea, we'll wait for it to be completed and finished, and then we will sue you for some of the profits and proceeds.
Yeah. That's
how I want to make my money, through litigation.
We will reverse Shark Tank you. Watch out.
Yes.
Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Middle class holes, Murr, Alan, Foxman. What were you going to say, Alan? You had something dialed up.
Give me the fucking idea. You do all of the work, and then we come sneaking in the back door and say, "Hey, sucker, we know you listen to the podcast. We got it right here."
Yeah, it's time stamped. It's all ready to go. Yeah, we've got it logged and collated. That's the only thing we do well, is we keep our clips, and we keep them dated, and we keep them regulated. So fuck you, give us our cut.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be catastrophic or groundbreaking. Like, have us split 2%,
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. I think I've got enough shitty ideas that I could earn tens of thousands of dollars a year. Just
yeah, it doesn't have to be like a millionaire out of it.
No, I want it to be like my day job. I will come up with ideas that I don't have the ambition to complete, and then you complete them for me, and I will take a penance of what you've made off the back of my brilliance.
You could almost make a TV show of failed ones. Like, all right, Murray, I have this really good idea. It involves graham crackers, racetracks, electromagnet. Get the fuck out of here. All right, boss, I got nothing. Just scooch, next in line. Oh, seriously, that's it? That's it. Your idea sucks. Can't do anything with it. Next. All right. Hey, first of all, Major League Baseball did technically go on strike as of 11:59 yesterday. You guys aware of that? Murr shaking his head.
Can you strike if you're not playing?
Technically,
can you strike while you're on vacation?
Yes, because the winter meetings won't take place. Agents can't talk to their players. There's things that normally go on right now that aren't on the field related that can't occur right now.
I'm sure the agents aren't talking to their their players.
Well, that's why there was this mad dash to get all these fucking outrageous. These were going to be outrageous contracts anyway. But it's not a coincidence that they got done at the leading up to December 1st. Is
that why Mint Mobile's stock price just went through the roof?
Maybe. Could be coincidental. I don't know. Let me just throw a few of these at you. Corey Seager, 10 years, $325 million. Marcus Semien, 7 years, $175 million. Javi Baez, 6 years, $140 million. I'm not going to. Robbie Ray, 5 years, $115. Kevin Gausman, formerly of the Orioles, had a good year with San Francisco last year, 5 years, $110 million. And then it goes on and on. Some of these gentlemen are really, going to do well for themselves. Some resurgence and some well-earned contracts. But 37-year-old three-time former Cy Young winner, shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, Max Scherzer signed a 3-year deal with the New York Mets for $130 million, raking in $43.33333 repeating $1 million a year. I actually did this. If he has averaged 33 starts over the last 3 years, and I actually factored in the 2020 COVID shortened season. I kind of did some math and multiplied it, did the math there because he didn't miss any games. He's slated to make $1.3 million a start. Good for him.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I'm baffled by all of this. I thought baseball ratings were down. I thought less people were going to the stadiums. I thought all of these things, but it's hard to say that there's a downturn when there's an upswing in 37-year-old multi-million-dollar contracts.
Well, I think they kind of figure, and again, this is just one man's opinion who's not employed in Major League Baseball in any shape, form, or fashion, just as a fan. 3 years at 37 years old, I think they look to get 2 good years out of him and have him go tandem with DeGrom. So you have a not just a 1-2 punch, but probably 2 of the best 3 pitchers in the game, depending upon who you talk to. So, and then if the 3rd year you get anything out of him, great. If you don't, you just pay him $43 million and tell him to fuck off.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd gladly fuck off for $43 million.
He'd fuck himself for $43 million.
Or he'd just pay to find a way.
Yeah. Mm.
And that's when you get injured. Injured. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah. No, I mean, shit's crazy. It's nothing. It's kind of new. Not really. It's been a trend. It's been trending this way. Absolutely preposterous contracts for nothing. Like, what you say Gausman got 100 and something?
Yeah, Kevin Gausman, 5 years at $110, so it's $22 million a year. And listen, he had a good year last year. He tailed off towards the end, but for a while he was the guy, the ace on 108 win. I think it was 108 win San Francisco team. Won more games than anyone in the regular season. So he was going to get paid. I just don't 5 years, $22 million a year for 5 years for a 30-year-old who gave you 3/4 of a good season. I mean, that's what the going rate for starting pitching is. That's what you're going to have to pay for. But fucking hell, man, good for him. Good for him. I mean, I always say good for the players. Well,
here's the question I have: is this like the Tom Brady effect? Is this like the Peyton Manning effect, where old players aren't as old players used to be, how like there used to be the tried and true, what I like to call the Doug Flutie effect, no one 5'10" can play quarterback, and then you get a Drew Brees, and you get all these guys that they're like, okay, maybe we were wrong. If the skill set's there, we shouldn't concentrate on this one little, factor of their being. So Max Scherzer, 37, still proving he can actually get it done at a major league level. So now that they're saying, okay, age isn't a factor like it used to be. Anything under 40 is okay as long as they haven't shown immediate decline on the field. Is that where we are now?
Well, I think a guy like Scherzer, you have a pretty good bet that he's at least going to give you one good year, probably 2 good years. And I think anything after that, in their eyes, third year be damned, whatever. But I think it's the way he's pitched, he hasn't slowed down. His velocity hasn't gone down. He still has the same velocity for all 4 pitches, same arm angle, same deception, no real, I can't, not that I can think of, other than, a couple 10-day stints here and there, no major surgeries or anything like that. So I think in their eyes, and pretty much everyone else that watches baseball, he's not slowing down, at least in the next season. A bunch of other pitchers across Major League Baseball, I can't really say that. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, so it's a little different.
I mean, you're also getting asses in the seats at the tail end of that contract every time he starts, too, because, it's kind of going back to Cal Ripken. Even when his skills weren't really there, he had that, quote, farewell tour. And so even though the Orioles weren't in competition for anything, you had a sold-out stadium for an entire season just to see him possibly show his last at bat.
Yeah. And there's a lot. I mean, the Mets could, somewhere if they find themselves out of it, he could certainly be traded. I don't know the ins and outs of the contract, but fucking 40. You're going to see more of this with pitchers. Not so much field players, but pitchers. They're not going to get those much more north of 5 years because fucking arms tire out. That's the way it goes. But god damn, the conceivably probably his last contract. He might do a 1 year after that if he still has it. How'd you do your last 3 years of employment? 43 million a year. Motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
And that's what, retiring at 40?
Mm-hmm.
What's solid?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love how, in my mind, I'm looking at him as an old man, and I'm 5 years older than him.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the bigger problem now is, old athletes are, my age or, slightly older. You know what I mean? That. Yeah, so you old as fuck, bro. I'm looking at you.
Well,
yeah.
That's why I transformed into a Tom Brady fan, because I realized 2 years ago that this will be the last player that is older than me in the game. I think Brady's 1 year older than I am. And so there's no way anybody else, there's nobody else in the league right now. So that means that's it. It's over. There might be a kicker,
I was gonna say,
on a bench somewhere.
Might be someone who slides in on a 1 week contract that someone's practice squad as a punter or a kicker. Usually that happens. It's a good kicker.
Or a long snapper, 50-year-old long snapper that's been laying on the couch for 3 years.
Some of these, but it looks like the collective bargaining agreement's going to get done sometime around the start of spring training. They're going to hold out till then. There's going to be some spring training games missed, but there's some interesting clauses, man. The league, not so it's players and league. The league wants 14-team playoffs, 7 per league, American and National. They want extended playoffs. There's a couple. They want to do away with pitchers hitting. Players want to limit league control for rookie contracts or team control. They want to reduce it from 6 years down to a little bit shorter because they want guys to be able to get these big contracts when they're 24, 25, 26, rather than waiting till they're 30, till they're all old and shit.
I agree with that part. I agree if you're good enough to get paid, get paid. But I want the National League to keep the pitchers hitting. I mean, maybe in the playoffs, maybe in the playoffs they do away with that. You can designate a designated hitter if you so choose, if you're a National League team, or if you've got who's the Asian guy, the pitches, that ruins the opportunity for his very unique Hall of Fame statistic moving forward. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Like he could have, because of what he does, he could have lesser numbers than guys who have played the two positions that he plays. But because he did them both, that gets him a first ballot Hall of Fame. But if you take away that one angle of his career, then you kind of lessen his ability, his effectiveness. I mean, imagine if all players were able to pitch like him and hit like him and field like him. We'd have the greatest baseball teams that ever existed.
Yeah.
So why thwart that opportunity?
I agree with you. This may be something you don't know. Pitchers don't. There actually no pitchers hit in Triple and Double A. Now, once you get down to Single A, like low A ball, there are some leagues where the pitcher still does hit. But after that, they don't hit anymore. So conceivably, a guy, who gets called up as a pitcher in the National League, who spent the last 3 or 4 years or 2.5 years or whatever between Triple and Double A, hasn't seen pitching since he was in college, and now he's fucking throwing on someone else's batting helmet and grabbing someone else's bat and like knuckling in against fucking major league pitching. Like they gotta, if they're gonna keep it, they gotta be able to hit in the minors. And I don't know, man. It's just like the shitty thing is they just don't want those guys getting hurt. That's how valuable arms are.
Wah.
I don't like the fact that guys don't play a position, to be honest with you. I know, it's like, there's some diehards in the American League. You're like, you fucking idiot, the designated hitter. Like, I mean, I like the designated hitter, but I just, like, it takes away the fact from a guy, like, who can't field a position, who's out there with, like, 2 left hands and 2 left feet, like,
yeah. He's a guy that works once every 5 days, fucking... And he's incapable of doing anything else.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just know that if a 40-year-old, out of shape, Bartolo Colon can get in and for one night only crush like his only major league home run of his career to that point, like it can be done. Okay, you're throwing out the heat. You can take the heat every now and again. I don't know. I just to me, if we lose that, then like it just seems like if you lose the pitchers in the National League having to hit, you lose that last essence of purity of the game. I mean, most of it's gone anyway, let's be honest.
Right. But
it's always fun to watch a pitcher, help their own calls when they get up to the plate. I don't know, maybe they should all just be hitting anyway. I don't know. But, I don't know. You end up with that Barry Bonds syndrome where, like, all right, Barry, you can't really play anymore, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you this lotion. You're going to sit on the bench. You're going to come in, you're going to crush 74 fucking home runs, big guy. Get it done.
You shag some fly balls in left field. Because I had a point. I do think, though, because that's really the last thing that distinguishes American from National League. Really, I mean, that's it. You call me crazy, call me like an anti-historian of the game. Do away with American and National League at that point. Just make it regionalized.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I look at the NFL and sometimes it's hard to guess like who's AFC, NFC.
That's a good point.
That's
a good point. I don't know. I guess it's because like hockey and basketball you have East West and you have your divisions of those, like you'd be Atlantic and some I don't even know the divisions of those sports. I know that there is a Eastern Conference and a Western Conference. If you want to do that with baseball, you're right though. Football does kind of throw the dagger into my bullshit argument. So yeah, hell yeah. Fuck the National League.
I was just starting to think like, what if in the NFL, like to differentiate between the AFC and the NFC, like the AFC, like the quarterbacks also had to be your field goal kickers?
Yeah, that's a good point. I always found it funny back in the day. They don't do it too much anymore. Now it's usually your backup quarterback. But way back when, your quarterback was usually your placeholder for field goals. And pregame, they had someone else, like a receiver or someone else from the team or someone from the staff, when the quarterback was throwing up or warming up. Someone else would catch the ball and hand it to him because they didn't want them getting their fingers jammed or broken finger catching a ball. But when it comes game time, hey man, you catch that long snap, you put your hand there, and someone's gonna fling their fucking foot inches from your goddamn golden arm. Tried and true.
Yeah. But don't you hold with your if you're a righty? Oh, I guess either way. Don't you hold with your non-throwing hand?
Yeah. It just seemed. I don't know.
Yeah, no. If you're right-handed, Alan, you're right, because you're going to catch it. You're going to be down on your right knee if you're a righty, and then you're going to catch it like this, upside down, and so your throwing arm's going to be the one that gets out of the way right before they fucking kick it.
Well, unless you have like a left-footed kicker, right?
Good point. I guess it all depends on the kicker. We're all stupid.
How many left-footed kickers do you see, though? Come on.
Janikowski, and that's the only one I can think of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that long ago because Romo was the placeholder for the Cowboys.
He did it because that guy got hurt.
Yeah.
And typically they like the quarterbacks for that unless it's a punter, because like the Ravens, it's Cook, it's a punter. Now he's been doing it for ages, but they like the quarterbacks because they're so dexterous, just a quick like whip down.
But go ahead, Alan.
No, I was going to say, I was going to make a joke about Sebastian Janikowski, but I think the time. But lefty or not, he was dangerous because he was always fucking half drunk anyway.
Right.
With fucking bottle of gin on the sideline. But fuck. Well, nope, that was my joke. I don't know where I was going with that afterwards.
Romo.
Well, I just
fingers.
Fingering. Well, I recently watched a video of like greatest NFL hits, and Sebastian Janikowski was actually on there, like leveling some guy trying to fucking like run a blocked field goal back. Just stands up like he's the juggernaut. Boof. What? That guy
he was a giant. He was huge.
Yeah.
Fucking, he could kick a ball, cut your mouth. He just couldn't stay sober.
There's a good video. I want to say it's when they beat Mike Vick's Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl, and Janikowski missed. So Winky and that team went down, couldn't get the touchdown. Janikowski comes on for a chip shot, and it's like 27, 28 yards. College kickers aren't all that great, but Janikowski was good all across the board. He was good as a pro. He was good
getting drafted.
He was good. He was good in the college ranks. But I remember he missed it, and it's like cut right before they cut to commercial. It has this close up of Bobby Bowden after him. He's just like fucking guy, here in the goddamn national championship of the Sugar Bowl, and this motherfucker's missing chip shots.
He's missing 20-yard fucking kicks, fucking drunk as piss. Just he's waiting to go to the frat party after this fucking guy.
Guys already think we won the national championship. We'll keep our. My guess is there'll be a little bit of spring training miss, not much. But that's the other thing. I didn't realize this. NFL, Major League Baseball players' contracts are also tied to games played in spring training. So when you don't play games in spring training, you don't get paid, strike or not.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Scherzer's going to miss out on like $1 million.
I think he's probably pretty fucking anxious. Fucking guys. Come on. This comes out of Fox 5 out of the Bronx. Let's see. A Bronx woman used obituaries to rob houses as people attended funerals. I don't know, A for effort or B for burglary. So LaTanya Stewart, 30, found guilty last month on burglarizing 6 homes between 2017 and 2018. So she would look through the local newspapers, find obituaries, figure out when services were going to happen, and pull a Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci from fucking Home Alone and go in there and rob them joints. Now, you have firsthand, kind of semi-firsthand, I'm going to say knowledge because this hasn't happened to you, but my mom made you hold down the fort at my parents' house, my family's house, while we were for my father's memorial service. We had my friends going around in shifts because she said this. This is back in 2018. Now, I kind of said, it's whatever. This is the Bronx and Perryville, apples to pears. But your thoughts on Miss Stewart, who was sentenced to 11 years?
Oh, dude, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is like our bumper sticker idea, just like taken to the nth degree. Like, it's almost. I'm mad at other criminals for not thinking of this first. Like, look through the paper. Like, oh, Jimmy Smith being laid to rest on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Looks like about 7:30. I got a little shopping spree to do. It makes 100% sense. My problem with the particular instance that you're speaking of is everybody else had like a little group session. It was basically like, all right, Murr, we'll come get you in about 2 hours.
Yeah, Murr was by himself.
It's already like an obviously emotional, intense situation. I was to speak the next day, and I'm in this house. I've been in this house, hundreds and hundreds of times before, but actually never alone by myself.
Hey, man, you said anything I can do for the family. That was it.
And I meant it, but it was just like I remember the door closing and be like, "All right, here we are." Okay. And then just kind of like looking at my watch like every 5 minutes. Okay, is it 2 hours yet? But I got a lot of writing done. I got a lot of thinking done. It was actually a good period of time. But no, good on your mom. I mean, it's foresight that most people don't have. But like I said, it's brilliant on this criminal's part. But this also made me think of, why don't people grave rob more? I'll get your thoughts on that in a minute. Alan?
Can we just go to the grave robbing thing? Because that sounds more interesting to me. I mean,
who these people were. You know who these people were. You know what they were worth. You know what they were buried in. You know what they're packing underground that nobody's going to miss, and nobody in a real sane mind is ever going to get to. So the person in the box ain't using it. So why not?
Like Aunt Bertha's fucking Tiffany brooch is on her fucking coat when she goes into that dirt, and that just seems like a waste of perfectly good Tiffany jewelry, Well,
I'm going to say, this is almost like Inception, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt does the recon. Like, we need a recon person on our team, because if that motherfucker ain't on Aunt Bertha's wrist, and we dug and rented, some sort of light to be able to and burn a gajillion calories and open it up to empty wrists. Fucking recon guy's getting a shovel to his dick.
Look, that's reasonable. I think, and I think the recon guy, he's just got to really dive in. He's got to go to like viewings. He's got to attend funerals as just a stranger. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just I worked with him. I heard, I heard ex-coworker let me know.
And maybe if you play your cards right, you could pull a Will Ferrell from Wedding Crashers. Get some grieving tale.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very much Wedding Crashers leg. It's just funeral crowd. You got to do your research.
Right.
Got to get family trees, things of that nature.
The way I'm looking at it is you pay off. Who's the guy at the funeral home that prepares the body? You pay him off. Hey, do they have anything valuable? Was it fake? Did it look legit?
The only thing I can think of is like a morgue butler, and that's not it. That's
a morgue butler. Is that a thing?
I think they're called morticians.
Yeah.
Morgue butler. Yeah, this is the morgue butler episode now. I hope you know.
That guy's got the easiest job of all. Can I get you anything, sir?
Nope.
Nothing.
The guy's
gonna lay there.
Morgue concierge. That sounds right. Oh god.
An extra pillow.
But no, I mean that makes perfect sense. Like Uncle Jim Bob has a fucking like gold tooth or diamond tooth. Wiggle that bad boy on out of there. He doesn't need that in the afterlife. Yeah, you gotta have a guy on the inside. I think recon guy's got to establish a lot of relationships. He's got to do some. It's basically just networking, but for dead people.
So where do you draw the line? I mean, say Uncle Petey
About 6 feet.
About 6 feet, yeah. I say Uncle Petey got buried in a $2,500 Armani suit, 3-piece, with some shit kickers that are real nice. Do you take those puppies too?
I mean, you got to ask yourself, is it worth the dig?
Yeah. Are they Ferragamos? Yep, probably. We'll take those.
I mean, you obviously can't go after like strictly famous people, but I say, look, here's what's the best part is the richest people usually get those mausoleums, like the above ground, like just like little stone fortresses. Look, crowbar and a big rock open ain't as hard as digging under the ground. So that's where you target first. Okay. You go for old money. You go for Rolexes, diamond rings, like you said, like old ladies, old money, old ladies with brooches.
Rockefellers, Vanderbilts.
I'm sure you could do some serious recon at places like that. I'm sure you could roll into a place like that and be like, oh, I was a business partner of his. No, you dedicate
the next 20 years of your life to become a fucking stonemason. Okay, so you break into these mausoleums, no fucking trace.
Here's the thing, though, and it doesn't have to be as covert as I think everybody thinks. Have you ever seen cemetery security? If they have it, it ain't like they're just some guy who's the local drunk who likes to stay up till 5 a.m, drinking like peppermint schnapps until he falls on his face. You pay him a couple $100. You just roll in there with some heavy equipment and say, "Oh yeah, we're getting prepped for tomorrow." That's it. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to question you. Nobody questions people digging in graveyards. Well, I think that's the last person.
Murr, before we forget, they'll never make it. The movie thing is the grave robbers roll into the wrong graveyard because it's haunted. That's the security.
Yeah, they'll definitely never make that.
All right, fuck it. Whatever. Well, and then here's the $1 million question. All right. After you're all done, then do you sticker graffiti the coffin and headstone after you leave?
Yeah, with a Calvin pissing on it. Got it. Nailed it. We've been here. We've got your riches.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have to wet bandit our way through the cemetery. Just leave a nice little calling card.
We're the Morgue Butler bandits. That's us.
Morgue Butler bandits. Christ.
So in a recent poll done by I don't even know, what's it, Preply? 50% of Americans admit to using slang without knowing what it means. So here's some of the key findings. 20% of Americans admit to using slang in every conversation. 50% admit to using terms that they don't know what they mean. Some of the most well-known ones were, and this is whack, yeah, pun intended, ghosted, salty, and on point. Come on, what the... Really? Fucking A, whatever. 58...
Are those?
They said, like, those were the most unknown. Like, people say, yeah, I use that, but I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
What is that fucking...
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I don't think you have to know, like, okay, mind your P's and Q's. Now, you guys know what that means, right? When if I say mind your P's and Q's, it means be on your best behavior, yes. Right? Do you know what it actually means?
I mean, I don't know the wives' tale or the historical. Yeah, I'm sure it means something, but I don't know what it means.
Okay, it means mind your pints and quarts.
Okay.
So, like, if there was a ruckus in the bar, it means, like, now your drinks are in your hands. Like, we can't protect you. Like, mind your shit. So, mind your P's and Q's. Mind your pints and quarts. Gotcha. You don't need to know that means mind your pints and quarts to know what mind your P's and Q's means. Does that make sense?
Right. Okay. Go ahead. I think you have I kind of get what you're saying, but go ahead.
So I guess, like, how would you use a phrase without knowing what it meant? Like, wouldn't everybody just call you out and be like, the fuck are you talking? Are you having a stroke? What are the words you're saying right now?
That's what I'm about to say. If something like crazy happened, like, yo, that was so ghosted. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
No, I'm with you. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, God, it was so much fun. Everyone was acting so salty. Wait, hold on.
That doesn't even sound right.
Counteracts.
I don't know what it means, but it doesn't sound
like they were tasty. You know what I mean? They were like
everyone was
delicious.
Everyone was sweating. And it was salty.
Yeah, no. But I do oftentimes, like, I joke with my buddy Alex. He's one of my groomsmen, and like when we hear new words, we'll then, like, within like a week or two, use them on each other and be like, did I do it right? You gotta ask a young kid, and then he'll ask like his niece who's like 10, be like, yo, did I use this right? Like that's when the youths started saying that like things slap to make it good, like food. You know what I mean? Like that shit slaps. And we were like, what? What the fuck does that mean? And then we started using it religiously because we will absolutely try to stay young with our slang.
Shit slaps.
Well, okay. I know what that means. That slaps. That means it was really good. Okay, if I'm breaking it straight down. I don't know where it comes from, but that's my point about the mind your P's and Q's. Like, you don't have to know why it is as long as you know what it is. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I understand.
So how are these... I guess my point is, how are these people using these phrases and terms incorrect? Like, the poll doesn't even make sense to me.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a really good Curb Your Enthusiasm where Leon says when he's living in Larry's is it the in-law suite place? He's like, yeah, I'm lamping. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm just over at the place, hanging out, watching some TV. It's like, chilling. It's like, yeah, but lamping is even better. It's like, chilling wasn't good enough for you. You had to upgrade to lamping. Wow. Okay. I kind of like you people. 58% of Americans don't know what Rona means.
Really?
According to the poll here. Yeah.
This is why we are the way we are. This is why this is a sample size of just, we're idiots. Everyone's idiots.
Yeah, they said they surveyed over 2,000 English speakers. No, it is American. Sorry, I may have messed that up. So
sorry, that's the problem. You did an interview in American speakers.
It's in Americans. Americans here. So let's see here. 66% of parents are annoyed by slang. No shocker there, compared to 46% of people without children. Okay, so it's parents, older people without, with children and without children. So
okay, well that makes sense because like if you don't have kids, then you don't have a direct like link to the younger generation.
Right.
So you have like you end up like avoiding like certain media, and it just passes you by. At some point, I do want you to test me as the elder statesman. I'll see if I can guess some of these phrases and terminologies and see if I'm still with it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm stuck in like 2002 perpetually, so you're not going to get too much new shit from me. Although I do know what Ronan is.
I still say shit is whack. I still say shit is dope. I'm pretty sure all of those things are not still cool, but it is what it is. It's all about the.
Well, I actually heard someone in their very early 20s say something today that I hadn't heard before. Like they said, "That's turned up," and I was like, And then my boss was like,
"I get it in contact."
My boss was like, "What'd you say?" She said, "That's turned up." And I said, "That's turned up, Dan. Don't you get it?" Like, and I said, that, like, that's hot. That's fire. That's on point. You're dead on. I have no idea what that's turned up means, but I know exactly what it means.
Right. I kind of feel, okay, maybe the sample size is small with us three, but I kind of feel like us three are intelligent enough, savvy enough, but also funky fresh enough to be able to decipher slang terms like this and be like, okay, context clues, body language, situation. Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yeah, well, I think we're the wrong people, though. We also use words at a different level than I think the average person. Okay. So, you know what I mean? Like, I tend to stay up on things like that solely because I like saying things funny. Like, I like saying things in new ways. So, yeah, I get it, yeah.
So it also might be a literacy literacy test, because when you don't know a word, what do they tell you? Back in all the way in elementary
Context
school,
clues.
it's like read around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we do. And not to pat ourselves on the back too hard here, but that's so basically this is a poll of stupid people. I feel like that's what we're boiling this down to. It's a poll of there are 50% of adult Americans are stupid fucks. They are dumb twats who don't understand the world around them.
Yeah.
They don't understand words in their native language.
Right. Because that shit's fucking salty. 46% of Americans think it's appropriate to use slang in a professional setting, and 42% said they would use it in front of their boss. That's a yes and a yes for me in my current situation. Sometimes, previously I was no, but I don't know.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
Me now?
Like you just ran by that, yeah, right, maybe we didn't do that before, but do it now.
No, I'm saying like previously from a previous position, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. My current position, yes. I use slang and curse words in a professional setting. And I do that to my boss as well.
I work in the construction industry, so I cuss a lot. So yeah, it is what it is. But no, I mean, I tend to stay pretty. I mean, I'm professional, obviously, in the office. I don't cuss as much around certain people and in certain situations. But I also am not like shy to like try new things out on my bosses or something. You know what I mean? Like I will still walk into a place, a room, and just be like, "What up, nerds?" Boss and my coworker. You know what I mean? Like I got no problems with that. And everybody's like, "Oh, let's look at this guy. This guy's so funny." You know what I mean? So I think it's delivery too.
Sure. I think it's also situational, because I know when I'm at work, I don't bite my tongue for anything as long as operations are steady and normal. When all of a sudden there's a problem, all of a sudden it's like, well, let me talk to you about this entire situation here. You see what I believe went down here. All of a sudden, if there's a problem, it goes into professional talk mode. If there's no problem, it's just casual. Fuck this, blah, blah, blah. I think I made a Cosby joke today to my boss. We were talking about my colonoscopy. I asked what those women were complaining about. But if all of a sudden there was an issue, like I was in trouble for something, I would go into strictly professional English Oxford Dictionary terminology for everything spoken. So it's funny how, I always do find it funny how we put on this fake fucking face as soon as things quote hit the fan. That's another term. You guys know what that means?
Yeah, it's ghosting, right? Same.
Yes.
Samesies. Hey, we have I got a sociology experiment for you, Alan. Okay, you say I walk into a group of coworkers and I say, "What's up, nerds?" All right, so back in the foxhole, which was the basement at my parents' house that Murr frequented, there was one night where I don't want to get into where he came up with. He didn't come up with the term karate strike, but he used it very eloquently, and then we determined that would be a great band name. So next time you go in, rather than greeting someone with a "What's up," be like, "Get karate strike!" Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that shit.
See,
when me and so I worked at a call center for a little while with one of our fraternity brothers, and during that period of time, I think I've recounted this to you that I started a clothing trend called Western Wear Wednesdays. Where I went and got a bolo tie, I had a vest, and so for I don't know, maybe a month it lasted, because I had 3 people participate, and then they were slowly like, "Yeah, we look like idiots." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Let's keep doing it. But I'd walk in and be like, "Howdy, partners!" You know what I mean? It's you gotta roll with it. You gotta make work fun, because it sucks, generally speaking.
Shit, I might come up with that on my own. What do we got? Grace, I'm pissed off that Wednesday's almost a full week away. I'm gonna have to start amping this shit up.
Oh, you should do it. It's good stuff. It's a morale booster.
And in the era we live in, you cannot discriminate upon any kind of attire. You just do it. Go get several bolo ties. How much can a bolo tie cost? I mean, it's just what? It's just shoestrings and a rock.
Yeah, don't you have to buy them by the 5-pack anyway?
Mine. I have one that's a buffalo nickel. It's sweet. It cost me like $10. It was like 10. It was It's awesome. Oh, and the little pointy pieces of it are arrowheads.
Jesus Christ.
So you know it's good. I got it from Carol's Western Wear on Ritchie Highway. I don't think that place exists anymore. I think it was limping along, and then COVID was like, all right, no one needs fucking ostrich boots. Like no one in Ritchie and Glen Burnie, Maryland is coming in for a custom fucking Stetson. Like
we came, we saw, we ghosted.
I'm just trying to break down like the multiple layers of cultural appropriation that one bolo tie actually is.
Right?
A buffalo head nickel with arrows.
Oh
we stole your land for this. To rob you of this.
I'm taking over as program manager for Indian Healthcare Services of the Great Plains region. I'm supposed to meet the chief technology officer in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe I should rock one of those during the meet and greet when getting off the plane when he meets me, like, hey.
You dress to your audience, all right? You C-suite, you put on a suit, go out to a fucking job site, just some fucking work pants and some boots, you don't gotta fucking dress crazy. Fucking man who probably handles ranches, bolo tie.
Yeah. Christ, I think. Why'd you give up on it? Because people said we look ridiculous, or?
Well, there was like a 2-week span where I was the only one, and and I mean I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
but I was like, all right, well, I'm not buying more stuff.
I was going to say. It also becomes. It seems like it become a very costly adventure every Wednesday. This isn't like
because it got to the point where I went into Carol's Western Wear and there was a legitimate conversation with my wife of whether or not I buy this $200 American flag leather jacket, and she was like, absolutely not. And I was like, what the fuck? How am I going to commit to the motif if I don't have tassels from my fucking arm leather jacket?
He's walking into work like Randy Macho Man Savage.
Or I tried to get chaps. That was a no-go. I will go as far with a gimmick as you will allow me to go.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm full commitment.
There was my father who used to wear shorts pretty much year round, unless it was just super bitter cold. Wore him to work a lot towards the last 7 to 8 years of his full time employment, and his boss said, "I'm thinking about implementing a dress code." And my father said, "There's not a dress code you can make that I can't mock." He's like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "I might just tap into my Scottish heritage and I'll wear a kilt to work." The guy's like, "Are you kidding?" He's like, Yeah, you bet. There's no rule that you can make that I can't fucking piss over. And I remember at the dinner table him telling me this, and I was like, wait a minute, we're Scottish? He's like, no, we're not fucking Scottish. So you buy a kilt?
That was your takeaway from it.
Wait a minute, I thought you were German and English. It's like, you'd buy a kilt? Yeah, I'd buy a kilt.
We look pretty German.
Yeah, right.
I know somebody who got in trouble for malicious obedience.
Jesus, what the hell? I don't. What slang term is that? I'm annoyed.
It means they got in trouble for something, so they followed every rule to a T, which no job can function under those guidelines. Oh. So they were being maliciously obedient. So every time they were asked to do something, it's like, well, according to Article 469.41, I need to have this. It's like, okay, can you just fucking do it? Well, according to, and so they got written up for malicious obedience, which is exactly what your dad would have been brilliant at.
And that's when you sue said company and make lots of money.
Yeah, malicious obedience. Jesus Christ.
It's like, motherfucker, it's in writing. I'm quoting it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually, well, workplace discretion. So this was posted on the official Middle Classholes Facebook page, coming out of CNN, probably fake news. New York, amid shortages across the board, Canada is tapping into its strategic reserves. So when you think of reserves, I mean, I always think of oil. Are there, are there any other?
It's a big oil country. Yeah. Canada has lots of oil.
Well, hold the phones. It's not oil. It's this time it's for maple syrup. The Quebec maple syrup producer said it's releasing roughly 50 million pounds from its strategic maple syrup reserves to trade. Confirmed to CNN Business that's almost half of its stockpile. So I don't want to get into the statistics of this. First of all, that's wild. But 50 million pounds, and I get it. Hey, man, business is business. Syrup is syrup, and syrup is delicious. I like it. I like it on my pancakes, my waffles. I enjoy sopping it up with some bacon. After I finish my waffles and pancakes,
I like a maple syrup flavored sausage.
Sure,
tasty as well.
Absolutely. And then hey, again, another wedding crashers. How do you think I keep my hair up, Slick? I know everything there is to know about maple syrup. Maple syrup conglomerate. Christ, 50 million pounds. This is wild. I guess so. Where's the shortage coming from? Are they not cutting down trees? They're not hacking up trees?
Yeah, they're probably not.
Now, I didn't read the story, so much like a lot of the new-aged colloquial phrases that have been introduced to the American vernacular, I'm going to assume that it's because of inflation. Because I have recently switched, basically ever since the demise of the late, great Aunt Jemima, I switched over to straight-up traditional maple syrup. I said, you know what? You took an icon from me, so I'm going to tap the source, if you will, pun intended. And so I went to maple syrup. I'm like, holy shit, maple syrup's really expensive. And so I'm thinking because of inflation, the price of maple syrup went up so much that they had to release more into the marketplace to draw the price back down.
You're semi correct. Reading this here, historically, 2021 was an average year with maple syrup production in Quebec with 133 million pounds. So they produced 175 million pounds in 2020. But think about this, though. This is a quote from, I guess, the CEO or someone high up on this company. The pandemic helped in our cases because people were cooking a lot more from home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they used a lot more syrup, and so they had to tap into their strategic reserve. God, the one.
What is? Where's this? Where's this? Okay, 50 million pounds is half of the reserve. Where's this strategic reserve housing 100 million pounds of maple syrup?
That's none of your goddamn business, Wes Fox.
I just imagine some really old man, strong ass fucking Canadian, just white as they come, wearing a red fucking shirt, just stirring with a giant wooden spoon. Like, you ain't supposed to be here, son. Eh?
Hey.
Shocked that anyone walks in. Like, hey.
I like to think that it's kept under a frozen lake, and there's just a single guy, like Murr, a single guy in a shack. Fishing through the ice hole, but he's not actually fishing. He's just protecting the national stockpile.
Yeah,
and it's in heavy moose country. So, even if you try to get to him, you're gonna probably get gored to death.
Right. So that last scene in Inception, it's guarded like that with skiers with fucking semi-automatic weapons and in a fortress. But and then 50 million pounds of. First, I mean, Grace, I get a tablespoon's worth on my counter. It's a fucking pain in the ass to clean up and get it all over my hands, and I got to wash my hands. So what poor schmuck was responsible for pulling out 50 million pounds? What do you just throw assembly line of buckets?
I just imagine just old school, just pump. Like the old Amish ground pump, and they're just sitting there. It's same guy, same red flannel shirt, just pumping away.
Yeah, Jesus.
You want to help, eh?
That's he's in the fishing shack, and the red light on the wall goes off, and he's like, "Oh, it's pumping."
Yeah, that's
keeps on pumping until the light turns green.
You ever seen like when Conan the Barbarian, when Arnold gets enslaved as a child and then has to push that oar, he fucking grows into fucking Conan. That's what happened to this lumberjack guy. So, I pumped maple syrup. 25 years.
Your references. Oh god.
But is there anything more Canadian than like the nuclear red light go and tap the fucking reserves? Then it has to be maple syrup, probably pumped out of like a fucking dead salt mine somewhere in the fucking Arctic North.
You get fucking. Listen, man. I'm storyboarding this already. Get Dan Aykroyd. Give me some other Canadian greats. I mean, I was going to say Candy, but
Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds can be the young new prime minister who has to tap the reserve, and they're wondering if his youthful ignorance is responsible for this need. But they realize shortly that he is the great savior of the Canadian North.
And then he turns into Deadpool.
Why wouldn't they just like withhold some from the States? You know, make us hungry more. Or is that just like, are you cutting your lifeline out?
Oh yeah, you cut your lifeline out. Look like schmucks like me who just got rid of an American product to go to a superior Canadian product. Okay,
I got a question now. Is there no more Mrs. Butterworths?
Ooh,
I feel like that whole bottle was kind of racist.
Oh yeah, you know what? I feel like the
it?
makers of Mrs. Butterworth just like were like, look, they just
we didn't name her Aunt Butterworth, so we're good.
I feel I haven't seen Mrs. Butterworth on the shelf in a long time. I feel like they just fucking like zoink. They just slipped out of the room with the bottle. Like the really ultra white executives are just like, see you later. I haven't seen Mrs. Butterworth in years now.
She's still around.
Yeah, they said it was Aunt Jemima that got the. It
was the aunt. I'm telling you, if they had named Miss Butterworth Aunt Buttersworth, they'd been fucked. That is a curvy bottle. All right, that is a presumed brown lady.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not presumed. I remember the commercials when I was a kid, like a real Mrs. Butterworth turned into the Mrs. Butterworth bottle, and Mrs. Butterworth was basically the housekeeper from Tom and Jerry. Like, you know, I don't want to.
Oh God.
Yeah.
She's Big Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, but she was sweet. She was sweet on your tongue, baby.
The colonel liked his.
Now you didn't tell the folks about Mrs. Buttersworth, but you enjoyed her in private.
We might have had a few children that we don't talk about.
Sent them up north to be maple syrup reserve men.
You're a reserve man.
As far as syrup goes, I didn't mind tapping Mrs. Butterworth.
Jesus Christ! All right. We're being ornery.
Okay.
We're being ornery. All right, Mr. Murr, it's time for everyone's favorite segment of the show.
That's right, my friends. It's officially time to learn yourself something. It's time for Fun Fact Friday, being brought to you, of course, by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. If you've been running nonstop on your pathetic, weak little shins and they started to hurt and you feel like you need a group to support you, find the Shin Splints Recovery Group on Facebook if you got that pesky pain below the knee and above the ankles. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know Japanese secondary schools rarely use substitute teachers? If a teacher calls in sick, another teacher might periodically check on their classroom, but students are usually trusted to study quietly and independently.
What's Japanese secondary? It's like not non-private or public schools?
I believe that's grades above like 7.
7 and up. So for them it's like presumably K through 6 and then 7 through 12.
I would assume, because secondary schools, I believe, are middle school and high school for us here in the States.
Okay.
So I'm just rounding it out and saying 7th through 12th grade.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, let's just say 13 to 18-year-olds are basically told, like, hey, your teacher's not coming today. School's on you.
Right. Well, that really puts the kibosh on our great movie idea, subbing. So that'd be a boring movie. That'd be terrible. By the way, me and Murr and Dewey have an idea for a movie called Subbing about substitute teaching. I don't know.
Well, you apparently never read my my Google Notes where Dewey and I had chatted about changing it to Board of Education, where the board is spelled BORED.
What?
Man, that sounds awful like an awful lot like a Carrot Top film.
I was going to say Tom Green, but
yeah. Well, either way.
So okay.
Well,
go ahead, Murr.
That's chairman of the board that Alan is referring to.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
One of the greatest. By the way,
Sorry, Wes, you don't know that one.
I sure don't.
Stars Courtney Thorne-Smith and Carrot Top, and the reference Alan is making is a Conan appearance by Norm Macdonald, where Courtney Thorne-Smith is absolutely dying on the couch, and Norm saves the entire fucking interview by basically mocking Courtney Thorne-Smith, Carrot Top, and her movie career. It's amazing. You should all look that up.
But
it is magical.
And good for the secondary education folk at in Japan, where there's no substitute teachers. That's good. That's good. They can do that.
You do realize that if in America a teacher was not in a classroom, that there would just be utter hell broken loose. There would be maple syrup reserves tapped into. Yeah. There would be desks lit on fire. There would be children fighting. Hung. Yeah, stabbings, just random stabbings, pencils in the eyes. We would not survive. It's just that the Japanese are a different culture.
Well, and think about this, though, is that in order to tame what you just described, the chaos that would ensue if there wasn't some sort of parental or some sort of authoritarian figure in their presence, at least in our cases, now I can't speak for every other county, every other state here in the union, but at least where I grew up, they were like, hey, you graduated from high school. You have a heartbeat. You have a pulse. Yeah, get on in there. Here, hand out some dittos. Just make sure they don't go crazy. And more often than not, they didn't.
Basically. Yeah. That's how substitute teaching works, at least in my understanding of it.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you went to school, right? Yeah. All right, get on in here. Fucking make sure they don't die.
My only gripe was so the lowest pay grade was high school diploma and a passing grade in a college psych. So you'd have a passing grade. I always thought you needed a passing grade in abnormal psych, but that's just me. That's just me.
Fair.
Yeah, I have nothing further to add except for we are a bunch of hooligans and we don't value education.
Good point. Yeah. America, man.
Very clear.
America. Come on, man. Quit ghosting. Let's go.
Did you know lemmings do not jump off cliffs? Let me start that over because it's not pronounced clips. Lemmings do not jump off cliffs to commit suicide. This myth was perpetuated by Disney's 1958 documentary, White Wilderness. A scene was faked by chasing lemmings off a cliff to portray them as mindless followers. Everyone believed it was typical behavior, essentially proving that humans are more likely to be blindly led than lemmings.
So
I did not know that.
So they killed a bunch. They chased these off cliffs, and then filmed it as if
they basically murdered. They murdered lemmings in order to get a fantastical clip for a quote unquote documentary. And then everybody was like, oh, it was filmed by the wonderful folks at Disney, so it must be true. And so henceforth, everyone has assumed that lemmings are just mindless follower mammals that will just follow each other off of a cliff to death, when in reality they were probably being shoveled off by the millions by some sort of front end loader just in order to get a really good clip for a really fancy camera.
Some sort of maple syrup churner, moonlighter. That's disgusting. And you think about this is like I've said the word sheep a lot in the last 6 months. This is kind of very, very sheeple of Disney. Well, maybe not of Disney, but of us. Damn it, lemons are smart, man.
No, it's not. But the thing is like, no, it's not sheepleish because this comes back down to the oh man, I don't want to get serious, but here we go. This comes back down to the responsibility of the media to portray things accurately, even if it doesn't fit their narrative, because then people will lose trust and someone will believe something that is untrue forever. Since 1958, for well over 50 some years, we've all believed this stupid little fact about lemmings that I just learned yesterday is not true because they portrayed it as true.
Hey, so maybe we create some sort of sticker or stickers and head on down to Disney and graffiti up some things, like someone in a shadow chasing lemmings off a cliff. Say, did you know?
Maybe it's just a lemming pissing on things. Just that. Flapping around on fucking Disney thing.
Right on Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, basically.
I would love to see the behind the scenes footage of how they got this to happen, because you'd have to wrangle up, and I'd have to see the scene. Maybe I'll look it up on YouTube. For those listening at home, White Wilderness. I want to see the scene, and then I'd love to see how they wrangled like thousands of lemmings to their death just to get some good videography.
Yeah, I had to assume they fired a few people just because they weren't, they're having some moral dilemma. Pete,
no,
you think they
no, they definitely promoted them.
Well, 100%. No, I meant initially. You probably had someone who was having a moral dilemma, just shooting these things off fucking cliffs. It was like, I don't know, I can't do this anymore. Get the fuck out of here. Tom, you're up next. Get in. Put the mop down. Grab the shovel. You're chucking lemmings off cliffs.
I have a feeling in 1958, that was a promotion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Johnny, you've been promoted to lemming shoveler.
Yeah.
Really? My life's work is complete.
You took your moral dilemma to the house, and your wife was like, you put those fucking lemons off the cliffs. You bring home the cheddar, baby. You bring home that maple syrup. That shit from Canada, not that fake shit.
And tonight for dinner, we're having lemon stew. Did you know when George Takei came out in 2005, he prepared for his, quote, career to recede, but ended up with, quote, more guest shots as gay George Takei than ever. He credits his acceptance to Star Wars fans because the show is, quote, about acceptance and the strength of the Starship Enterprise, and that it embraces diversity in all forms. Or, in my opinion, it could be that his delivery of, oh my, in a very gay Japanese American accent was lovely.
I knew everything about what you just said, with the exception of when he came out. I didn't know it was 2005. I thought it was much earlier than that. I thought it was like the mid to late 90s. Not that it would have been like substantially. I didn't realize it was 2005 because he used to guest host Stern when he went to Sirius for a year. When I got Sirius in 2006. And obviously by that point he had come out, and it wasn't, I didn't think much of it. It just, I don't recall 2005 being some landmark George Takei, I'm out of the closet moment, but could be wrong.
Well, I just want to remind you that even though it seems like 2005 was yesterday, it was actually almost 17 years ago. So it's a lot longer ago than you really realize in your mind.
I feel like this was during the Clinton administration. All right, that's how I fucking bookmark things in my life, bro.
That's fair.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good time periods. I did not know it was that late, but I mean, did he really need to by that point?
Yeah, I think we were still in that phase. I mean, I think people forget that like 2005 seems really recent, but we were still kind of bigoted towards gay people, unless they were famous. And someone like that, a beloved character from from the 50s and 60s, really, with Star Trek. I mean, It was like, okay, you've loved me for 50 years, and now you're going to hate me because this one thing. It's almost like he challenged the world.
Alan, are you saying that was a big deal because it's one of those things where someone from some friend group comes out and like, yeah, we always knew. Really? You guys knew? You think it's like the same that applies to Mr. Takai?
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's usually my reaction anyway. Like, people be like, hey, I'm gay. Oh, okay.
Right.
Do you think it was easier to accept because he was Japanese and they all kind of seem a little, huh?
Okay.
He's American Japanese. It's totally different.
No.
And he was Captain Sulu,
Eventually. And by the way, the only thing I disagree with George Takai about is he's got a real bug up his ass. Fictitious bug up his ass.
It would have been different.
About his piloting skills? Is that what you're talking about?
No, about his hatred towards William Shatner. Because, apparently, and I actually trust William Shatner's take on this, is he's had a bone to pick with Bill Shatner for decades, and William Shatner explained it there was a scene in one of the films that didn't make sense, but it starred. That scene was all about George and Captain Sulu. And he said it didn't work. And I was part of the creative team on that. And I said, no, this doesn't work. Let's cut that. And he's been pissed off ever since. And so that's the one thing, because he even mocked William Shatner for going into space on the Blue Origin thing with old Bezos there. It's like, oh, a hamster in space. What a specimen.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's
really good.
Whether he should put that to bed or not, that's funny. There's a really good. You gotta check this out. There's a really good Reno 911 where Officer Dangle and someone else are doing recon spying from a hotel. And they look in the room next to
Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah, they look in the room next to the criminal, and they see someone who they suspect to be Leonard Nimoy, and they basically break their recon / their stakeout, yeah, to go check it out. And they ask him, and he's like, "No, I'm in town for a Star Trek convention. I'm a lookalike." Like, oh my god! Then the robbery takes place. Yeah. Are you Leonard Nimoy? Are you Leonard Nimoy?
So good. That's coming back, right? It's a movie, I think. It's either a movie or a short blip of episodes, but it's The Search for Q.
Okay.
It's QAnon.
The movie. It's a movie. It's like a self-funded movie, and it'll do really well because I will watch it.
It ought to.
Yeah, I've been watching Reno 911 recently.
Yeah, we ought to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 of this.
God, I've been wanting to do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 since I was fucking 10. I first watched that show, I was like, this is genius. Yeah, I would love to do that, please.
But by the way, another fun fact about George Takai and Lieutenant Sulu / Captain Sulu is that in the recent Star Wars movies, they made Sulu gay, and George Takai came out against that because he said that the character was not gay, though I am. And I would appreciate them not using my gayness to promote a cause in an unwarranted way.
Well, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I like his stance on that.
I could see fucking Murr's eye twitching about that, but
what do you mean? Why would my eye twitch?
Oh, I just see. It seemed like you were like, that's dumb.
Well, it's dumb that they push an agenda based on the person. You know what I mean? It's almost like insinuating that a person can't be a thing and then also be an actor not being a thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So just because George Takei is gay doesn't mean his character from Star Wars needed to be gay as well. It's just like, why couldn't a gay man play a straight man? Like, I am an actor.
You might need to edit all of him saying Star Wars into Star Trek because, like,
yeah,
it doesn't really bother me, but you will get murdered for that shit saying it on the internet.
Yeah, bat chamber, bro.
Very true. I didn't even catch that about myself.
Bat chamber.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember? Trivia question: what did Captain Sulu? What was the ship that Captain Sulu captained?
Oh fuck! The Excelsior.
Oh, look at you, fucking A,
damn.
Ringing it out.
There, I just saved myself from the accidental Star Wars reference.
Look at him.
Yeah. I don't know shit about Star Trek, so.
I thought you were going to say the Falcon, the USS Falcon. All right.
Did you know? Now, I will say this is a fun fact that Alan and I have brought up in the past, but it's official according to the calendar. Mm-hmm. Mushrooms are more closely related to humans than they are to plants.
Wow. Is it because of a nervous system or?
Genetically speaking, they are closer to the human genome than they are to any kind of plant genome, which it goes back to that documentary that both Alan and I watched, Fantastic Fungi, that like there might have been a crossroads of like evolution where the fungi were like, we're going to go this way. And then humans were like, we're going to go this way. I mean, we obviously know who won that battle to this point anyway. But like mycelium and all that, like they make up the earth. Like that bullshit in what's that fucking James Cameron movie with the fucking foreign planet with the fucking weird
Avatar.
things and
Avatar.
That's it. Yeah. So like Avatar would be what would happen if the mushrooms won the contest, but they didn't. And here we are.
It's a good point.
I don't know. I think I mean I might be waxing philosophical here for you, but I think mushrooms actually do win. Because we will die and they will eat us.
Good point.
So, but yeah, to your point,
hey,
Wes,
do you think
the nervous system parallel does kind of make like that's the parallel that kind of connects them into most like common like if you're talking to somebody who hasn't watched a documentary or doesn't know basic human anatomy and like microbiology. That's probably the best analogy to it is the tie-in is like they communicate to each other.
Do you think
and they help trees communicate to each other? It's fucking wild.
Do you think when they do eat us that they'll trip?
Maybe. Depends on how much like weed like the person has smoked. I think over a lifetime.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Or like
no,
or LSD or whatever.
No, like if they ate like some crackhead, right? Not gonna get much out of it. But all of a sudden they eat Elon Musk. They're like, oh shit, dude, I think we're connected interstellarly through this like web of atoms and ions that have existed since the creation of time. So, yeah, I think it depends on the human body. Yeah, maybe they do trip balls depending on the intellect of the person that they consume. Much like, like a psilocybin mushroom is going to make you trip, but like a morale mushroom is just going to be like, ooh, that tastes good with butter.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I kind of believe that mushrooms are alien.
Oh?
I believe Alan. Oh, yeah, I believe Alan. 100%.
Dude, they're wild. Mushrooms are strange, man. Fungi are wild in general.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you, but why is it like they're wild? Aliens brought them here.
There's nothing like it. There's literally nothing else like it.
It doesn't mean
algae.
It doesn't mean that aliens brought them here. It just means that maybe they came from a different, a different system of some kind. I'm not saying star system. Okay. They were sent here by some sentient being, but they're not from this.
They hit the earth, and then boom, here they were.
Okay, I could deal with that. All right.
Yeah,
alien doesn't necessarily mean like fucking little green men with big heads.
Everybody
it doesn't mean
Bobcat Goldthwait either.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and there's a I can't remember the name of the book, but it's about like ancient humans, like our evolution being directly connected and correlated with the consumption of psychedelic mushrooms, like the growth of the human brain. Like the only food source was psychedelic mushrooms, and so they kept eating them, and they kept thinking about shit, and because they kept thinking about shit, their brain capacity kept getting bigger and larger, and then we ended up being who and what we are, and consciousness was created through them, and so that's why we would be interconnected in that way. And so maybe there is a sentience there that we just can't understand until we eat them.
And then Ronald Reagan started the war on drugs, and we're here. We could have massive fucking brains, and we could travel the stars, but we just lock people up for smoking grass.
Yeah. I do. Well, I was going to say something about yeah. I got nothing now. All right. Oh, I was going to say Terrence McKenna, philosopher, has but also dabbled in a lot of drugs. He said every man, woman, and well, not child, but every child who grows up to becomes an adult, 18 years old, should eat mushrooms once.
Agreed. And his brother, dabbles in the same community, he actually he sponsors. He does a commercial for this place down in Costa Rica that's set up like a fucking Scandals resort, and they'll take you out into the woods, and they will guide you through ayahuasca trips with real shamans. And this is the only way the shamans are going to be able to keep their jobs as ritualistic shamans, is by being employed by resort towns like this in Costa Rica that we should all visit at some point.
I think what you mean is white people went to another place and were like, we can industrialize this very sacred and native fucking ritual, and we'll just pay Pedro, like, I don't know, food and a fucking shack because he doesn't have that now. And we'll let tons of white yogis come over after their 200-hour yoga training in India. We'll let them come over and get fucking high and touch the fucking moon. That's what it is.
Well, hey, they give him a window unit, just to be fair.
It's totally fair.
And Alan translated exactly what I was saying, but I still stand behind that we should all go. Alan,
I'm down. Let's do it. Okay,
All right.
I'm from the country above Costa Rica. There's got to be ayahuasca there.
Paraguay? Sorry.
Look, listen. It sounds expensive, but $5,000. Okay, $5,000 for 7 days. All you can eat, all you can drink, all you can puke, all you can shit, all you can trip. I think that's a pretty good deal.
I'll do that. I just don't want to drive anywhere.
See, here's the crazy thing, and this is why I get a little touchy on these kinds of subjects, is because you said $5,000, right? $5,000 for me, $5,000 for you, $5,000 for fucking Wes, fucking $15,000. Do you know how much a fucking round trip flight to Costa Rica costs? It should cost like $600. All right. Do you know how much a house with a Costa Rican house slave and fucking making your meals and cleaning your shit and fucking for a week costs? Like $1,000. So we could just do this ourselves. Like, fuck it. We'll go to Nicaragua. We'll spend like $1,000 and we'll do this. We might get lost in the jungle, but I think it'll be a more genuine experience than hanging out with fucking Ashley and Tiffany and fucking Greg, the new yoga teachers, fucking in Costa Rica.
I'm almost, listen, we could do some homework. I'm almost certain you could find the generic brand of what you're talking about in Nicaragua for like a third of the cost. Like, yeah,
I'm willing to spend the extra couple dollars for some fresh bacon and eggs after I get done puking my brains out for 6 hours over the middle of the night. And the former Blackwater security team that's going to be keeping the Jaguars off of me as I do, in fact, lick Jupiter. Okay, that's what I'm paying for.
It's totally fine. You won't. There aren't many jaguars in the jungle. Look, we'll just tie a fucking rope around your waist while you're on your 6-hour fucking journey to the 7th dimension, and fucking you'll be fine. You just won't wander off. You'll wake up in a puddle of vomit, and you'll be good to go.
But we're all in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll plan it. Group outing between us.
And finally, did you know friends John Crane and Andre Nestor found a bug in the casino video poker machine, and they used it to win $500,000? When they were federally charged with computer hacking and wire fraud, their lawyers argued, quote, all these guys did is simply push a sequence of buttons that they were legally entitled to push. Their case was dismissed.
Nah, but that's good.
$500,000 from Vegas?
That's a good lawyer. Was
it Vegas or Atlantic City?
I'm not sure exactly which edge of the states it was, but it was simply a video poker machine. Yeah. And they figured out the algorithm. They figured out exactly, like, if you push double down here, hit me here, do this here, boom, 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 every time it would pay them out a certain amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, they found the glitch. They found the glitch in the Matrix.
How long ago was this? Do we know?
I don't have a year on this. I'm sure we could look up the story. But this also mirrors a story that I found of these guys from MIT, and they figured out, they ran I think they sat in a hotel room, and they ran their computer program on 1,000 Keno games. This is right when Keno came out. And so they were like, all right, I think I got it. And they put down, it was like, what is it? What's the maximum bet on Keno? It's like 10 numbers?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So on their first try, they put down there, all right, 10 numbers. Let's see if we can get 7. On their first try, 10 numbers. They got 10 numbers and won $1 million and instantly got fucking arrested. And they did not give them their money at the front desk like they were hoping. And yeah, they got charged, but they were actually doing something like to game the system. But with stuff like this, if you figure it out, it's just like in a casino. What is it like with real poker? If you're counting cards, like, it's not illegal, but the casino can say, we're just going to refuse your service from here on out.
Yeah,
and they kick you out. So I don't see why this would be any different. And I don't think that cheating at casino games should be illegal in the first place. If you put in the time and the effort to do it, again, the casino can tell you not to come back. But I think a game of chance, if you take away the chance, then you're just a fucking entrepreneur.
Well, it should be, the onus should be on some of the managerial staff to select, touchscreen poker games or slot games that aren't as easily cracked. These guys just found the algorithm and figured it out. Voila. No, I don't know. I 100% agree. Maybe they ought to teach, like we were talking about being creative, teaching like people, like, here's the idea, you go run with it. I kind of feel like they're on the opposite end of that. They actually had some follow through.
Here's how you count cards. Good luck.
Yeah.
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 Good point. What I mean? But no, I'm cool with cheating. Just like you can't bring anything. You can't have some shaved dice. You can't have like some aces up your sleeve or some shit like that. But if you can count cards,
that's where I learned that why they put those like kind of diamond or like pyramid edged things at the ends of craps tables, because like people figured out how they could hit it on the flat end and then get the number that they wanted. So the pyramid part took away from that. Yeah. I figured it's almost like that Beatles song. All you need is love. Anything you can do, it's been done. Anything you can think of in a casino, it's been thought of.
Well, two things. The only stories that the stories that really piss me off about casinos is I've seen like machines malfunction, like slot machines malfunction, and they won't pay out the jackpot. It's like, oh, the machine broke. Well, isn't that part of the odds? What are the odds the machine broke? Oh, sorry, it broke and gave me the jackpot. Fuck you. You owe me money. And number 2, craps is the most fun I've ever had. I still relive being at the Hollywood Casino Perryville with you, Wesley Fox.
Oh, I didn't know that was the most fun you've had.
Holy shit. I didn't know what I was doing. You taught me one bet. You said keep making it. I got to play for like 25, 30 some minutes before I lost any money. And eventually They handed me the dice, and the fucking power of Grayskull was instilled inside of me, and I was He-Man for like 10 minutes while I was throwing those motherfuckers. It was because I realized that like all the money that was being passed through this table was now in my hands.
That's right.
And there's a feeling of fucking power and invulnerability.
You do have a
that
bit
is
of
instilled in you.
You got a bit of a Thanos thing going on there. It's like,
God damn right you do. I snap my fingers, and you all either live or die by my hand. And I can't wait to do it again.
shit. All right. Well, let's get up. Is that Fun Fact Friday?
And that, my friends, is officially your Fun Fact Friday.
Hey, well, before we close out, God, we did an hour and 40 minutes tonight. That's all right. Alan's made his triumphant return from a Thanksgiving or early Thanksgiving break. You said you saw the. You said you saw the someone on your mail route. You said you saw someone who looked like the was it Zoltan the Empress or something? The woman from Ghostbusters.
Oh, what was
Gozer?
Gozer the Destroyer. Yes. And I, when you work in a service industry, you often just kind of like side of the eye, see who's around you, and like, I really hope this person doesn't talk to me. And I saw her walking a dog, and it was just like, "Are you the mailman?" And all I could think is Dan Aykroyd, like, "Are you a god?" And I just thought, like, Ray, the answer is always yes. And I'm just like, what the fuck do you think I'm doing? Like, yes, I am. How are you? Just the hair slicked back, the weird shaped face, the fucking like, I don't know, like athletic body, but the fucking weirdness of a really strange human being that doesn't understand modern terms like ghosted or salty or mind your P's and Q's, which is what she should have done in the first place, because it's the dumbest fucking question in the world. Wearing the uniform I wear, doing the job I was doing, wearing the key that I have. So yeah, you just go along to get along.
Yeah.
Gozer the Gozerian.
No,
by the way,
not a mailman.
I do have a question though.
You should have said you were a Ghostbuster. Go on.
Did Gozer work for Zool? How did that work? Because I almost texted you like I just saw Zool, but I did some quick research. I was like, no, it's Gozer the Gozerian.
No, I think Zool is the dog. Like Zool is like the hound, the hellhound. You know what I'm talking about? Like in that movie?
But then there was but there was two hellhounds in that movie, so I was like, that couldn't have been Zools. They couldn't have been dual Zools.
No, I don't know. No. I think the other one was called something else. Like the dogs are their own things. I know.
Yeah.
Like I know Zool is its own thing because like Zool is a legit like mythological demigod thing.
Well, what I was under the assumption of is that Gozer was like the Silver Surfer and like was preparing the world for Zool's conquering.
Yeah, Zool is that. There were two smaller dogs next to her on the kind of the stoop, and then Zool was the larger gatekeeper, demigod minion of Gozer.
Yeah, so Zool, the gatekeeper of Gozer, is a demigod and minion of Gozer, the Destructor. It's the Destructor, obviously. It's not the Destroyer, apparently.
I'm sorry.
And alongside Vince Clortho, the Keymaster, which was the other dog, I believe.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's Google Vince Clortho.
Well, then those dogs got really shafted as far as like character development is concerned.
Vince Clortho,
they were just
the Keymaster of Gozer. So yes, the two dogs are Zool and Vince Clortho.
Well, so wait, does that make Sigourney Weaver Zool?
No, Zool. Well, no,
because the Keymaster was Rick Moranis. The Gatekeeper,
correct,
was Sigourney Weaver.
Yes, Zool was Sigourney Weaver. Yes.
Okay.
And Rick Moranis was Vince the Keymaster.
Okay. All right.
Vince Clortho. Yeah. And then Zool was Zool, or fucking Gozer is Gozer. Like Gozer's like the end all thing.
I really hope that haphazard, like listeners who are half paying attention at this point don't confuse us for gamers. Just
like what?
Creating
This is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast? What?
I just listen. I just need to get something from my childhood 100% clear before we move on with life here, because then. But wait, I do have one follow-up question. I apologize for this, Wes.
You're
but
fine.
did the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man then become Gozer when Ray decided that should be their destroyer?
No, I thought that was a figment of his imagination, that they instilled that whatever he imagines then became real. So that poofed out of thin air.
But Gozer, the acrobat chick, said, "Choose your destroyer. Anything you think of will come to fruition." And then they're like, "Okay, everybody, clear your minds. And they're like,
Ray,
and the shit Ray, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
I thought of my time as a youth out in campgrounds in Yapakuba in Canada. It's just so innocent. Ray, I couldn't help myself. What did you do? Our destroyer is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man."
At this point, I'm just willing to say yes. It became that. You betcha.
Okay.
Both dogs became the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Zool and everything. Zool and who? What's the other dog's name?
Vin's Clortho.
What the?
The gatekeeper.
Keymaster.
Oh, God.
Keymaster, I apologize.
Uranus is the Keymaster.
The Keymaster.
She is the gatekeeper. Sigourney Weaver is the gatekeeper.
Right, and she asks Bill Murray, a.k.a. Hold on. Don't get Ray, Egon, and...
come on.
Really?
Peter Venkman. Yeah.
Jesus
she asks,
God.
hey, eat Peter Venkman's asshole from the back, bro.
Suck my dick from the back.
Yeah.
Apparently, when we were down at this little Thanksgiving getaway, my wife and the other female participant decided that suck my clit from the back was going to be a thing for them. So if you hear that when you interface with my wife, Wes, you're welcome.
I approve.
That ain't no thing. All right. Alan, let the folks know where you can find us.
On the internet.
All right. www.middleclassholes.com. Good night.
Oh, of course, guys, you can find us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're also on TikTok now, so fucking check us out. We're just Middle Classholes, at Middle Classholes on TikTok. So definitely get on there. Some content coming your way, some funny clips, maybe us shaking our heads to a popular trend. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we have enough time. Of course, again, for your listening pleasure, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And, of course, our favorite mode of communication. Please send us emails at tickleourtummies. That's right, tickleourtummies, plural, at gmail.com.
I almost feel as though because when you say that, when you gear up for the Gmail, Murr's face kind of starts to lighten up.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a good poker face to say that we do or don't have an email, and it looks as though we do have one. Murr, take it away.
Well, we don't.
Damn it! Yeah.
Unless you count
Monday sale.
Unless you count the YouTube's terms of service update, which I will not, or Google's learn more about our update to our terms of service, which are actually intrinsically connected because Google, in fact, owns YouTube. Would you like me to read the update to their terms of service?
The whole T&Cs. Let's do it.
We did get a comment on our most viewed YouTube video. It's the Lily, we love you. AT&T Lily body shaming. I think it's got almost 6,500 views. Bill Jackson says, quote, on her commercial lately, she's been not showing her cakes. She really has a great hourglass figure.
Bill, message us. We want to send you. I don't even know. I don't even know what we want to send you. I just want to send you something.
We'll send you.
gmail.com.
We will send you a generic Calvin pissing bumper sticker for you to place on anything that you randomly hate.
Bill Jackson, we appreciate that. Shit, folks. Well, hey, look. As always, if you get caught manufacturing, producing, or purchasing a fake COVID vaccination card, and I would know, I got my booster today. I got number 3, and I got a different kind. First 2 shots were Pfizer, and I got Moderna today. So I'm hoping it makes my penis larger as a long-term side effect.
Yeah, working our way to that new world order, baby.
If I know anything, it makes your asshole bigger.
If you get caught doing any of those things with a COVID vaccination card, I hope a fire ant crawls in your piss hole or your clitoris and bites away.
Or if you're an NFL player, you'll get suspended for a few games. Right. So just think about that. Antonio Brown.
That fucking clown. Idiot. Oh, shit. All right, folks. Hey, man. It's been a pleasure. Have a good one. Take it easy.